In this video tutorial, we are going to install PHPBB onto a Namecheap.com hosted web space with cPanel. In doing this, we're going to be giving your website a fully functioning bulletin board or forum, complete with its own content management system. This video is going to be really fast. I'm going to do it all in one take so you can see exactly how to do this from start to finish. So download the latest release of PHPBB there, current version 3.01. I'm going to download the zip there. Namecheap is fine handling zip, so we're going to go with that very familiar format there. Okay, so save that to your computer there, and then what we're going to do is log into our cPanels. Now, if you don't know how to log into cPanel, you're going to have to contact Namecheap and ask them how to do this. This is how you administer your web space with this content management system that is cPanel. The other thing to say is that cPanel is really just a product in itself that many different providers use. So even if you're not on Namecheap, as long as you're using cPanel, you should be able to follow along with me here. I'm going to click on the file manager here, and we're going to navigate to the web root. Span this guy here, and we're going to go to the public HTML folder. Now that is the all-important publicly accessible folder via the URL. When somebody types in www.yourdomain.com, where they're effectively going is content in the public_HTML folder. So click here on the upload button, and we're going to upload to that folder the local store I have of the PHPBB zip. And while that's uploading, I'm going to go back to cPanel proper here. I'm going to go down to the databases section, click on MySQL databases. We're going to set up the database really quick here that PHPBB is going to need to run. So create a new database. I'm going to call it PHPBBDB. Create that database. That's finished. Now note that even though I named it PHPBBDB, it actually got renamed. It appends here to the front my unique Namecheap identifier _ and then what I named it. So this entire string is now the name of the database. Similarly, we're going to create the database user account that PHPBB will use to interface with it. So we're going to name that PHPBBA. I'm going to give him a password. Create that user. Now we are going to go down and we have to explicitly add that user to the database. Should get the right user, right database. Because it's effectively an admin account, we got to give that guy all privileges, make changes. And now here's a good time to actually confirm that the right user was added to the right database, and leave this up for a minute because we're going to refer to it in just a moment. So now let's go back here and make sure it's finished uploading. Indeed, back to File Manager, refresh public HTML folder, and we are going to find that zip here. It's called PHPBB. That's the zip. Check it off and click the extract button. Now I uploaded that zip, and now I'm extracting it on the server because, as you see there, it does it very quickly. The alternative is to actually extract all those files and folders onto your local computer and then upload them all to the server, but that takes a very long time. It's much faster to actually just upload that zip and extract it, just how I've done it there. So close that down there, refresh public_HTML again, find that zip, delete it so it's not just there causing a mess. Always clean up after yourself. And that's gone. So now we're going to find the PHPBB3. That's the folder that just got extracted. And what we're going to do is rename that guy right now. Now, you don't have to do this. I'm doing this as convenience. You'll see down the road here why this makes things much easier. Sorry, I don't mean to rename it. Rename. I'm going to call it forum. It's rather convention to name your forum. You'll see how I do that with a subdomain in a minute, but I'm going to call it forum here. So that's happened there. And now I'm ready for the actual installation of PHPBB. So we're going to go to our domain there. Let's see. And we're going to append to that the name of that folder I just created. And up pops the web-based UI for the installation of PHPBB. So it says greetings. Click on the install tab. Proceed to next step. Now here's where it checks things out. I haven't made any changes to my Namecheap account here. These are all of the default settings, and it says everything's up and ready to go here. Those are the important ones here, all these ones. Supported databases. Now I have some ones that are unavailable. That's fine because I have these ones available, and that's what's important. Okay, so let's move on here. Start the installation. Now here's where it says, how do we connect PHPBB to the database? Well, that's why I left this guy open so that I can refer to it now. So there's the user, and then the database. Make sure you don't get that period on the end there. Here's the database, and the password was just as I said it just a moment ago, and leave these ones just as they are. And at that point, it actually tried to connect to the database with that account, and it says everything is okay. So we're ready to go to the next step here. Now here's where I actually have to set up the administrator account for PHPBB. So we're going to call him the same thing. Probably not a good idea to be using the same username as the database, but for convenience sake, that's what I'm going to do. I encourage you to not do that, though. Password. And contact email address. There we go. Proceed to next step. Proceed to next step. All of these settings you can change later on manually, but we're going to leave all the defaults. Everything will be up and running, no problem. Let's create the database. Yes, thanks. Congratulations, it's up and running now. It says to log in, so let's see what it does if I log in. Now I'm logged into the administrator account. So PHPBB is installed at this point. The only thing that needs to be pointed out here is, even though it's installed, if you try to actually access the site, what it says is, you know what, it's installed, but until you rename or remove the install directory, you can't access this. So we're going to go back over here to File Manager, and we are going to find within that forum folder there is a folder called install. So just delete that guy. Now when I go back here and hit F5 to refresh, PHPBB is up and running. Now the only thing I want to say here is that this is how you would actually access the forum at this point, but that's not pretty, right? A pending forum on the end here. Convention with forums is typically to put a subdomain, so you'd call it forum.alexwestconsulting.com. Well, that's easy to set up. All you need to do is go over to cPanel again, go down to the subdomain section. We're going to make a subdomain that matches that folder. If you had not named that folder forum, but you had named it something else, but you want the subdomain to be forum, you can do it like I just did here. It'll create a folder that matches that subdomain, and then what you do is you simply point that new folder over to the folder that the PHPBB is in. If that didn't make any sense, I'll show you what I mean here in just 2 seconds. Okay, so that's created. If they didn't match here, what you would do at this point right now is go down to here and you would say manage redirection, and that's where you would point it here to that folder that PHPBB is installed in. Okay, so in any case, if you did it just as I did it, what that means is you can now access it like this. www.forum.alexwestconsulting. That's the subdomain way of accessing it. There we go into PHPBB, all set up, ready to go. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm Alex West.